Taliban's broken promises on women a concern. Are you surprised at all that they're reneging on anything when it comes to women?
No, in fact, I would say that the Taliban never really have made any, there were never any promises to be made. The Taliban, they have said prior to its takeover and in negotiations with the US and the West, is that they would treat women under its interpretation of Islam. And that was the only promises they made. So we shouldn't be shocked when the Taliban is subjugating women, when preventing them from going to school and operating in the open in public or working or anything like that. The Taliban of today is the Taliban of 20 years ago. Most of the leadership of the Taliban today, nearly all of it, served as ministers or in some capacity in the Taliban's government from 1996 to 2001. Taliban 2.0 is the same as Taliban 1.0. We should not be shocked by any of this. This is completely predictable.
Completely predictable, but it is 20 years later, and the international community has more to, I suppose, pressure this government with. How much leverage do they have to try and push the issue of, say, women's rights when it comes to the issues around aid? How can the international community actually have teeth on this issue?
Yeah, I would argue the international community has zero leverage. The international community couldn't get the Taliban to make concessions when it was in country with military and the might of the West and international support and aid and all of the things you would think would be leverage. So that leverage whatever leverage was there didn't work with a international presence in Afghanistan. Now that the international community is gone, the leverage is zero. The only thing that they can hold over the Taliban's head is aid and things of that nature. But the Taliban, honestly, they really don't care about these things. Remember, from 1996 to 2001, only 3 countries recognized the Taliban. The Taliban didn't care about legitimacy. It didn't care about how it treated people. It just cared on how it treated women, particularly. All it cared about was ruling Afghanistan. That's its primary concern. If it could get aid to come in, it'll take it. But the Taliban doesn't act like we act in the West. It doesn't think like we think. It doesn't respond to the same inducements. And this is a conceit of those in the West who have pretended that who told us for 2 decades the Taliban has changed. It's a different era. But again, the old Taliban is the new Taliban. We've watched how the Taliban has ruled in areas where it controlled. This was prior to the U.S. leaving the country. We saw that it was enforcing its harsh version of Sharia. It was punishing women. It was beating and stoning to death women and men who eloped or had affairs. So we should never have expected that once it came into power.
But people are expecting that because, I mean, right now we have talks in Qatar, Taliban meeting EU diplomats. We have the Italian Prime Minister holding a virtual summit on aid for Afghanistan. And the UN is creating some sort of zero-sum binary choice here, saying, you know, we need to unlock money and save it from imminent collapse, or we need to not give money and you know, civilians starve. Is it as simple as that? And is there not a middle ground here?
I mean, the aid is going to have to flow through the Taliban. Again, we assume that the Taliban wants what we want, which is to negotiate. The Taliban never gave 1 inch during negotiations. Remember when the Obama administration negotiated with the Taliban, women's rights was one of the things, a ceasefire, accepting the Constitution. The Taliban said no to all of that. And then it negotiated with the Trump administration. The Taliban said no to that. And the Trump administration signed that deal regardless. The Taliban has proven that it's adept in the negotiations. All it does is wait, and it gets what it wants. And the international community will very, very likely cave and provide aid directly to the Taliban to feed the people because it doesn't want the Afghan people to starve. And that is noble, and I understand that. But they have to understand that they're enabling the Taliban. Aid, just like food, just like it's fungible. And this will prop up and support a Taliban regime. And the Taliban, if it just holds its ground, it will find that it won't have to give up anything in order to get the things that it wants.
Bill Roggio, thank you very much for joining us, a senior fellow with the Foundation for Defence of Democracy, editor of the Long War Journal. Really appreciate your expertise and your assessment there.
Thank you very much.